This podcast is sponsored by Two Fat Lardies. Check them out at www.twofatlardies.co.uk and play the period, not the rules. This vidcast is sponsored by Caliver Books. More stuff for wargamers than anyone else on the planet. Check out their website for more details. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Meeples Miniatures Miniature Review Show with me, your host Neil Shug. In this episode we are once again looking at another kit from the Plastic Soldier Company. This one was probably one of their most eagerly anticipated releases, and that is the German Panther tank. First off, let's have a look. We've got some excellent box art here, really evocative of the Panther. The one thing immediately of note is that this is a bigger box than what you normally get. Let's have a look. If you compare it to the box that you normally get the Shermans in, as you can see, it's probably 25% bigger box. That's because it really contains a huge sprue, and we'll come on to that in a minute. We'll take a look at the back, and here you see the standard painting guide that appears on the Plastic Soldier Company boxes, all the details that you need for Vallejo paints. As I say, really impressed in box, and the reason the box is so big is because of this sprue. As you can see, it's huge. Lots of stuff packed on here. What you've actually got with this particular box set is you have the options to build three variants of the Panther. You've got the A, the D and the G variants, and all the bits and pieces are on here, including the fact that, as you've noticed, the G has actually a different hull, so there are two different hulls on this particular sprue. Interesting as well, one thing to note, as you can see from the sprue, you've got completely different back ends, different sides as well, and they actually fit onto the tank body. Lots of different options and a different way to build the tank for this particular vehicle. A couple of things that I haven't seen before for the Plastic Soldier Company and there's a few different things to bear in mind when building this particular vehicle. So as I say, we've got three different variants. First off, we've got the Aus A, then we've got the Aus D, and finally the Aus G. Okay, so we'll take a look at each one of these vehicles in turn, and we'll start with the A. Immediately you notice we've got a few extra bits and pieces that glue onto the hull, extra bits of track and a few other bits and pieces like that. You've got several bits which, like hatches and stuff, which pop onto the actual hull. As you go around, you'll see a really nicely detailed kit. Being the Aus A, it doesn't have a hull-mounted machine gun. One thing of note as we come around to here is the tracks. These are probably the easiest tracks of any Plastic Soldier Company tank in 15mm that I've had to put on. They fit together really well. I mean, yeah, they're quite intuitive how they go together, but the whole track assembly fits together really, really well on this particular tank. As I kind of mentioned before, maybe it's just a case of I'm kind of getting used to the way all these things go together now, and which bits you have to build first. But I was really quite impressed with the way this whole thing went together. It's really easy. Not 100% sure about the sunken bit on the rear plate of the turret. It's a bit fiddly to put into place. Obviously, as you look at the back of the vehicle, one thing of note is, obviously, one of the differences with the Aus A is, with all the variants of the Panthers, are the different exhaust arrangements. And these are all available and sculpted out, and so that is one of the differences with the Panther A. So let's move on to the D variant. The first thing you want to note, it's exactly the same hull as the Panther A, with a few extra bits and pieces. Obviously, the major thing to note are the Scherzen on the side of the vehicle and also the smoke launchers. I'll come to the smoke launchers in a minute. Obviously, the other thing you'll note as well is we've got the options here of putting both a driver and a tank commander figure into the tank. That's an option that's available on all three variants. I've only actually used it on this particular one. The Scherzen fit in really well, just clip onto the side of the vehicle. They have like essentially two guiding bars where they kind of fit into the hull. So if you follow the diagram and see essentially where they are, and just follow the guiding bars and make sure they're pushed up into place, you'll fit the Scherzen into the correct place on the hull. Here you'll see some problems with the glue on the turret, and this is where I had issues with the smoke launchers. Now the smoke launchers come on a single piece of sprue. They're kind of effectively connected together by a piece of plastic. You have to clip them off individually and then clip them to the turret, and it's not 100% clear exactly how you do that. And by the time I actually worked out exactly how they worked and where you're supposed to put them, it caused a few issues, and I think they look rather unsightly anyway. I'm not convinced that they're particularly right, and I didn't like them at all as far as putting them on the tank is concerned. Okay, they might look a bit better once it's painted, but I wasn't impressed. One bit of the kit I really wasn't impressed with. Potentially the same issue with the turret. On the whole, looks okay. As you'll notice, different exhaust assembly on this particular variant. And I've left the hull clean on this particular tank. As you can see, there are a few bits and pieces on the sprue that you can put stowage onto the tank if you so wish. I didn't. I left it clean in this particular case for the review. So finally we've gone to the Panther G variant. As you'll notice, a different hull completely. Also, we're looking at a slightly different gun mantle. This one was the variant that prevented the shot trap, which was on the A and the D variant. You had that shot trap where you had a shell could ricochet off the bottom of the gun mantle down into the turret, and they've had several instances where tanks were knocked out by that fairly freakish thing. So obviously they've changed the gun mantlet on this particular tank to stop that shot trap from happening. Also, we have the addition of the hull-mounted machine gun, and also, as you can see as well, a turret-mounted machine gun as well. Again, I've chosen with this variant not to use commanders, however, they are available to use should you so wish. Other than that, the kit again goes together pretty well. There's a few question marks over, especially some of the bits at the back, if they're actually fitted on correctly. The instructions could be clearer, it has to be said. They're not the best in the world as far as that, fitting these particular bits on and exactly how they fit. These are the bits at the back of the hull. Again, you notice a different exhaust arrangement going for the Panther G, so lots of detail taken into account when building this particular vehicle. So, 3 different variants of the tank available. It's probably one of the easier kits to put together. There's a couple of issues when constructing it. For example, you'll notice there's a gap in the superstructure on the tank on the right in the front corner. It's just a question of ensuring that when you put the whole thing together that everything fits flush. So there's potentially a bit of cleaning up required there, maybe a bit of filling. Other than that, the tanks go together really, really well. Crab track assemblies was actually a dream on these. Really, really easy to do. With the obvious provisos, you have to make sure that the drive wheels go around the right way and things like that. But I found these probably some of the easiest 15mm tanks that Plastics Company have done as far as assembly procedure is concerned. I was really impressed with them. Now, as I mentioned, it's a slightly bigger sprue, so slightly bigger price. These are $17.95 for this particular box set. So again, 5 tanks, but they still work out at $360 a tank, which again is a steal. And I think, especially once these things are painted up, they will look fantastic. I was really impressed with this kit. The Panther is always one of my, from a looks point of view, it's one of my favourite tanks of World War II. And, from what I've seen, this kit captures the tank very well. Lots of nice modelling options. And it's pretty easy build. I think one of these, I'll put them together about 15 minutes a piece, something like that. Again, available direct from the Plastic Soldier Company, from their website. And also available from many major retailers these days. So keep your eyes open there. So that's the 15mm Panther box set from the Plastic Soldier Company. Another thumbs up from me. So that's about it for this show. Once again, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, happy gaming, and I'll see you soon. Bye. This vidcast is sponsored by Wargame Soldiers and Strategy magazine. Check out their website at www.wssmagazine.com. This vidcast is sponsored by Coat Harms Paints, the #1 source for all your model painting needs. Check out their website for more details.